All right, welcome everybody. This is so exciting. Yeah. Yeah, well, you can make some noise. Yeah. All right. Usually I'm totally by myself recording this in a room, and this time I happen to be like surrounded by half a dozen goddesses. So it feels really good actually. Um, and not only that, but I just see in the room right now, the Zoom room fill up with so many beautiful people from all over the world. So first of all, from my heart to your heart, so much joy welcoming you to this first day of the Miracle Experiment game. So today is a day in which you can see what are the principles through which more mystical miracles of love and healing can happen in your life. So we're just, Mike, if you can start muting some of those people. Oh, there we go. There we go. There's a little echo happening there. Super. So now, what are the ancient secrets and what are these principles we're going to get into? What are the three principles? Oh, Vera, you're here. Amazing. Vera, can you unmute yourself real quick?
I just want to tell you that I've had my cataract operation only 2 days ago, and I'm advised not to watch the screen, no electronics device. So I'll just listen to you. Okay,
Okay, good. Don't look at us, but definitely listen and listen with your heart. For those who don't know, Vera is an amazing, she's inspired me for so long. Every time we'd have clinic anywhere in New York area, New Jersey area, she'd always show up. And how old are you now, Vera? How many years young?
No, I'm not going to tell you my age. For once, I'm not going to say my age.
Anyway, she's very vibrantly young. She has a Dr. John would always say, I hope that everyone at this beautiful young age can have that much vibrant energy and health, working sometimes with joy 10, 15 hours a day all over the world, helping in war zones, helping people that need it most, doing a really incredible work. So it's so fun to have you on the call, Vera. I want to just in the chat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll just switch off, okay? I'll listen to you, but not look into the screen, okay?
Please don't look in the screen. Okay.
Okay.
Now, everyone, go ahead and just chime in the chat. Where are you joining from today? What city and what country are you joining from today? I already see people from Chicago, Toronto, Canada, San Diego. We got people from Texas, Hawaii, Illinois. We got people
Italy.
from Italy. Yes. Fantastic. Many people joining from Italy. Actually, we did a breakdown of what are the countries people are joining from. The biggest country is US, but the second country is Italy. Fantastic. And then the third country is Canada. So welcome. Buongiorno. All the people from Italy. Actually,
Grazie.
yeah. Actually, it's closer to afternoon and evening. So how do I say good afternoon?
Buonasera.
Buonasera. Buonasera. Oh, super. For everyone, wherever you're joining from in the world, I see people from Salt Lake City, Bristol, Kansas, Wichita, Kansas. I see people from Ireland, France, from Syracuse, New York, Bahamas, India, wherever you're joining from the world. Ken, welcome. So good to see you on the screen.
Look at that big soup. Look up, 5 gallons, 5 gallons.
That's fantastic. 5 gallons of Hmong soup. We need to have the next party at Ken's house because he's got enough for everyone on this call.
Everybody's welcome. I got 3 acres. We'll just put mats everywhere. It's going to be a love fest in Boston.
Beautiful. Well, Ken, I just want to say your message, your video, your Facebook Live on the Facebook community really touched my heart. That was really powerful. And so glad you're joining this journey. Everyone, whether you've been a part of this journey for a short period of time, for years, for a long time, I have a feeling that what we're about to experience together today in the next hour and 20 minutes, we'll finish an hour and 20 minutes, is gonna really, it'll be a, it's like a supercharge, a super boost of allowing certain principles that when you apply them in your life, it's like a magnet for miracles, you know. And what better time, what better season than right now, when, you know, originally, actually, this whole journey began for me with Gary, actually, when me and Gary Malkin, can you unmute yourself just for a second?
Hey, everybody. Hi, Clint.
Yeah, I met Gary. What year was that, Gary? 2009?
2009.
2009. And I found out that Gary was a genius at taking messages that can touch, move, and inspire people. So taking people who actually, we call them wisdom keepers or wisdom mentors, who have some wisdom, whether they're known or not. You take them in a studio and get them to share a message where he gives you chills or you want to cry. Like, what's the last thing? He'd get them off script, you know, so people have a script that they share from the stage. He'd get them off script and he'd say, what's the last message you would want to share with your own child? If it's
Or your
the
loved
last
one.
conversation you have, or a loved one.
Yeah.
And you just get chills. And he'd take that 3 or 4 minute clip and he'd put it to film score quality music. Gary's a 7-time Emmy Award winning composer, producer, multiple. He's done scores for movies where he's gotten the top awards. He's done for TV shows and commercials, TV shows you'd recognize. Actually, just recently, there was a lot of news in the LA area and all over the world because they're reinstating Unsolved Mysteries. And he actually did the original score for Unsolved Mysteries. So they're talking about how many people he's scared and given nightmares to. Yeah. And what happened was Gary knew he had a gift, which is you can open people's heart. And then in that moment, people were hiring him for commercials, you know, so he knew he could sell people stuff because their heart's open. But he says, I don't want to spend my whole life. I don't want this to be my legacy. And so he started devoting himself to what are messages that matter. And you know how sometimes you watch on the internet inspirational videos, but they're scripted and they're beautiful, but they're scripted. But he took extemporaneous spoken word messages that can pierce your heart, put it to music that opens it up and you feel it on every level, physical, mental, emotional. It just drops you into a state of being. And first time I heard this, I'm like, holy smokes, I want more people to know this exists. And so we started something called 10 Days to Touch 10 Million, which was right at this season. Gary, remember it was October I met you, I think, or right before October. We only had 2 weeks before Thanksgiving and Christmas were there. And I knew that during Thanksgiving and Christmas, there's an increase in depression and suicide because people aren't with their families or life isn't what they expected. Life isn't what they hoped. And unfortunately, more people feel lonely and depressed and suicidal. And I saw what Gary's doing. I was like, what if during this holidays together, we can spread some of these beautiful messages that give people hope and let them know they're not alone. And so it's funny that this whole journey started back then. And what happened was, as a part of that 10 days, I interviewed remarkable people. So I went to my friend, Gail Kingsbury. Many of you have already read the book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer. Actually, you know, if you've already read the book, I just want you to put in the chat, I want you to put hooray, you know, or yippee, something like that. So in the chat, put hooray or yippee if you've already read the book. And so then I won't repeat too many of the stories, but I met Gail Kingsbury, who knew a lot of famous people. And I wanted to interview sports athletes, and I wanted to interview famous musicians and Hollywood stars. And I said, you know, this is our project. Who can we interview? And I showed her my list of celebrities, and she said, you know, these people don't actually match your message. She's like, but who you need to talk to? And she gave me the names of 2 people. And one of them was this master healer by the name of Dr. Naram. Mike, can you actually bring up the slide just with Dr. Naram? I know most of you on this call already know, but I just want to start off this miracle experiment game by just showing you, just you get a sense of like this beautiful being. So I was in my 30s, young 30s, of about 33. And I actually at the time, I didn't call myself a skeptic, but I was a skeptic of anything that was what I thought was weird, you know? So even I had friends talk to me about something alternative medicine. And then all of a sudden I had to like question their intelligence. You know, like it was like a conversation stopper. And so at first I'm just being transparent, this was the thought process that was happening in my mind. So then when Gail told me about this master healer, I thought, I'm not so interested in interviewing someone like that for the program. You know, I want someone who's like a football star, you know, or something like that that people can relate to. Anyway, fate has a different, or God has a different, or the universe has a different plan for us than we have for ourselves sometimes. So right as she was describing him, he was walking down the hall. And as I met him, I just felt disarmed by his authenticity and his presence. Who's met Dr. Naram in person? I want to see, actually, just go ahead and in the chat say, I have, if you've met Dr. Naram in person. I just want to see who on this call. Oh my goodness. I'm actually seeing someone come on the call right now. Mike, whenever Giovanni gets on, can you unmute him? And I just want to make sure that we, oh, wow. Look at all the people that have met Dr. Naram. It's so beautiful. And I love Andrea. I have in spirit. I love that. So cool. Patricia, Dr. Naram is such a beautiful soul. Monique, Cornelia, Noya, Andrea, Dragana, Nushrat, Sandy, Alda, Patricia, Vikram, Yolanda. Yolanda is actually one of the miracle mentors for this whole game, and her picture and her story is in the beginning of the book. Sanjay, yeah, you definitely have. Stephen, you worked for him. Stephen, you're on this call too. It's so cool. Actually, Stephen, can you unmute yourself for a second, just briefly? And Giovanni, if you can unmute yourself briefly.
Yes,
Yeah, welcome to the call.
great to be here.
So fun, so grateful that you're here. You know, we did a Facebook Live, it was a few weeks ago. And Stephen, when was the first time you met Dr. Naram?
Before 2004, maybe 2002,
Yeah, about
maybe 2000.
Somewhere around that. So over 20 years ago.
Mhm.
Giovanni.
And I met this guy too, Giovanni.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
So cool.
Happy to be here with
Where
all
are
of
you-
you. Namaste, buonasera.
Namaste. Where are you joining from, Giovanni?
I'm joining from my native place because now Italy is locking down. Yes, near Urbino. Urbino is a very Rinascimental city where Raffaello Sanzio, the famous painter, is born.
Wow. Well, Giovanni, you'll be so proud. There's over 400 people confirmed registration to participate in this miracle experiment game. The #1 country is USA of people. And guess where the #2 country is of people who are participating?
I can guess, maybe Italy.
Yeah, Italy. Mamma mia.
Oh, bravi, belli, bravi.
And it has in large part to do with you. There's actually a whole team translating the book. Volunteers from around the world are translating the book into 30 languages. And I just got a beautiful message from Ilaria saying the whole thing is translated. Now they're just working on proofreading. They think by the end of November, maybe December, the book will be completed in Italian. So
Very good. There is a
cool.
big, many patients, many people are waiting for the Italian version.
Yeah.
Yes,
Ilaria, super fantastic. Who's there with you, Ilaria? Oh, you're muted right now.
They're blaming this voting software problem. These claims have been discredited. But here's a very
I'm here with you. Volevo sapere chi è con noi.
Oh, so
So-
Ilaria, tell me who's in the room with you right now?
Okay, for Ilaria, it's me, Anna, and Francesca, known as the fairy Francesca.
We are in the Paris mountain right now.
Wow, in the Fairies Mountains, joining
Clint,
us.
I have-
Near Rome.
Clint, my favorite country is Italia, and I have to say hello to our Italian friends.
We love you.
ciao.
Ciao.
I got a beautiful message from Ilaria saying that she has so many Italians interested in playing the Miracle Experiment game that there's someone who actually is the translator for Amma, who may even be simultaneously translating these sessions in Italian. So we'll have a whole small group section, which is just for Italians. You know, so that'll be a little bit crazy,
Yeah.
but yeah. Thank you, Ilaria, for the work that you're doing on the translation. And many other people who are working on translating the book are actually on this call too. there's an experience that happens when you experience the material so deeply, you know, that you actually have to understand it and convey that meaning and the emotion. Ilaria, what was your experience as you're translating the book?
Since I started to translate this book, I had some huge miracles that happened in my life. And now I'm realizing all my dreams. And one of these is to build an house in a beautiful place that is this mountain. So I'm started to move myself to realize this dream, and this is one of the most beautiful dreams that I could imagine for myself, for my happiness. So I'm so grateful for this book, for all this work of healing, or that we are spreading all over of the world with this book. And thank you so much.
Oh, so beautiful. You know, that touches on one of the key principles of the miracle experiment game. You know, this over this next 30-day period, you're going to be applying only 3 of the secrets from the book. And those 3 secrets alone will totally change your life. You have a potential to have a totally different experience of life. And the very first principle that Ilaria touches on, which is focusing on what you want versus what you don't want. One of the first questions that Dr. Naram would always ask everyone is, what do you want? And he says that 95% of people don't really know what they want. His master taught him, 95% of people, they're not sure. He asked me, he's like, Clint, do you know what window shopping is? I was like, yeah, okay. He's like, they're window shopping. They're trying this job and that job. They try this husband and that didn't work, so they try this husband. And then they try this husband and maybe this boyfriend. They try this, you know, whatever, always trying different things, but never really figuring out what is it that you want. So there's an ancient process to discover what you want. Dr. Ram said 95% of people don't know what they want. 3%, they know what they want, but they never achieve it because they don't have the right tools, the right technology, the right support, the right community. His dream was always to have a community of people that were a living, loving, learning, achieving community. And I just think he must be so happy today to see what's happening. I feel him very much with me in different moments that we'll get to and we'll talk about. But I just want to recognize that you are a part of that dream becoming a reality. Then Dr. Ram said 1% of people, they know what they want, they achieve it, but they never enjoy it. In the process, it's toxic success. So they get some health problems, some relationship problem with their kids, problem with their wife. With Dr. Ram, I met so many billionaires, millionaires, Hollywood stars, celebrities, and it was amazing. You think that they're at the height of everything. They have all the money, all the fame, all the whatever, all the achievements, but they're not happy, you know? And so Dr. Ram said 1% of people, they know what they want, they achieve it, and they enjoy that thing. He said, Doctor, I like that. Ow! We got some nice sound effects here going on. Ow! Yeah. So Dr. Ram said this lineage, the Siddha Veda lineage. So Ayurveda is the science of life. And Dr. Ram's lineage is an unbroken lineage going back 2,500 years. It's called Siddha Veda. It goes a step beyond Ayurveda in that it focuses a lot on what do you want? When you're sure you can recover your health or maintain great health, but when you have health, what will you do? What is it, your purpose? He says everything is a medicine or poison. In the TEDx talk that I gave over 1.5 years ago, I share a funny story about how I had a headache. And the cure for my headache, Dr. Ram told me, was onion rings, you know, which just surprised me. He says everything is a medicine or poison depending on how you use it. Even your life's work can be a poison if it's not aligned with your purpose, or it can be a medicine if it's aligned with who you are and what you're here to do. So I'm just so glad Ilaria brought that up. A big part of this miracle experiment game is discovering what you want and focusing more on what you want than what you don't want. And we'll talk about that. Don't feel overwhelmed from it, because even you can start with, what do you want from today? In fact, just for fun, before we go into the thing, what do you want from this hour? What do you want to experience in this precious hour that we have together? Between now and whatever time zone you're in, it's an hour, 20 minutes, but we have already done with 20 minutes, so we have an hour left. What do you want? What brought you here? What do you want to experience? Sandra says, inspiration. I love that. Linda, contagious love. Oh my goodness, I love this. Catherine Hall, connection, inspiration, wisdom. Savan, to connect with others. Esther, continued joy of community. Andrea, illumination. Niranjan, all the positive energy and love. Martina, miracles. Patricia, vibrant health. So many beautiful things. And all these things, when you're focused on what you want, you actually start to notice you feel better. So we're about to drop into an experience using Gary's music to drop from our head to our hearts. But just as a matter of introduction, I can't help it. I gotta share this because we all owe a debt of gratitude to so many people that brought us to the point where we are now in our lives. You know, we have teachers that have loved us. We have partners that have loved us. We have parents that have loved us. We have ancestors we may have never even met that have loved us. And in this lineage of master healers, I believe this unbroken lineage, all these masters, these great masters are continuing to help us even without being in the form of their body. And who knows, but one of them guided you to be here now, you know? So in light of how many people have loved us and where we come from, one person that I love so much is someone that gave birth to Gary Malkin. And she is one of the most amazing 96-year-old dynamic women that I've ever met. And just this week, I got one of the most amazing voice messages. I've already shared it with so many people, and I must listen to it 10 times. So just in light of sharing some joy with you and getting you in a state of joy, I'm just gonna play this beautiful message from 96. And Mike, can you bring up her picture on the screen? This is 96-year-old Pearl Malkin.
This is Pearl. I just want to leave you a message and tell you that I'm doing good. 4 days ago, I thought I died, but I tell you, God wanted me, so he brought me back. I want you to know I'm reading your book. Oh my God, it's fascinating, fascinating. When you come back, we must talk about it. I think you better give Gary a call too. He misses you. And what I want to say, I was trying to get your number, but I had an extra zero in it. So I made friends with a guy named Tommy. I called you the wrong number 4 times. So we started talking. And he was 21 years old. And I said, we got 2 friends. And he took my phone number. He said he wants to call me when he gets depressed. I said, sure, call me anytime. What the hell? He lives in Brooklyn. Okay, I hope you're happy, but if you get lonesome, you call me anytime. I'm afraid I may not live too long because 4 days ago, I really thought I was dying. And I told the kids, don't come see me because I'm being cremated. But now all of a sudden, I got new strength again. So maybe God wants me to hang around a little longer. I love your book. I'm going to give it to most of my friends are dying to read it. So if they want the book, do you have extra copies that we could buy, or where can we buy them? Anyhow, Clint, have a good life. And I meant to tell you, look just like Jesus. All
right. That's good medicine. That's really good medicine.
I have a perfect thing to share, and it's only 3.5 minutes. So thank you for sharing my mama with the world. My Brooklyn Jewish mama, right out of Central Casting.
Please, Gary, take it over. So for this moment, be thinking about this intention of what you wanted. A lot of people have said love, healing, love and happiness.
So I can't share still, but I know that you want me to.
Oh, here we go. I'll make you co-host again here. I just want you, as Gary is dropping you from your head to your heart, you know, one person put contagious love. And as we drop into this space, I just want to say it's whatever we're doing in this experience together, it won't only help you, but it's going to help a lot of other people without you even knowing it. And we have some examples in this room that are living examples and cases of it that I'll introduce you to in a little bit. But think about, what is that intention? What is it that you want? And Gary will take it from here.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for always the privilege to be in this beautiful community. And I am in the middle of a cleanse. So I'm taking my own version of the miracle experiment. And what I wanted to share with you is this concept that many of us live, as you know, as I've said before, from the neck up, which really is 80% of our thinking capacity, right? Or all of our thinking. What I've learned is this tool about alchemical wisdom is when you use music to actually alchemize with words, we hear the words differently. We hear it with our hearts, our souls, and our bodies. So I'm about to play this example of a simple form of alchemical wisdom where the wisdom keeper speaks in the studio while I'm playing live. I've done these things with Sarah McCrum and Transformances, but this is the first time I've ever shared this track. It's still not done yet, so the mixing is a little rough on the edges, but the music and the spoken word has this extraordinary message. And his name is Neil Rogan, and he wrote a book called Delightment. I'm gonna put it in the chat after we do this, but it's so perfect. I realize, oh my God, every morning I wonder, what am I gonna share this morning? What's perfect about this is when you ask, you know, what you want, right? What do you want? It's a very important question. But when you still are rummaging through your universe of what is it you want, there's a really important premise that Neil talks about. So I want to encourage you to just close your eyes, just allow the part of you that receives information and music all alchemize in your heart and soul as you listen to this message. Okay, here we go.
You ever find yourself upset when things didn't go the way you expected? Or somebody did something that you didn't like? You find yourself hanging on to these upsets? Well, here's something that may give you a different take. If you find yourself in God's general store, standing in the return line with your life in your hands, hoping to trade it in for something better, you're in the wrong line. This is it. By now, it's no secret. Unconditional acceptance is key to the freedom, happiness, and peace of mind we're all after. No mystery here. Choose what is. This is improv, baby. We are all making this up as we go along. The secret of successful improvisational acting is simple. Accept what's happening and build on it. It's called yes and. Whatever life puts before you, choose that. Rather than judging it or trying to change it or wish things were different, say yes and. That means accept it, go with it, add to it, include it as if it was already in your plans. Do not make it wrong. You don't have to like it. Just don't conclude that it shouldn't be happening. Resist resisting. Accept acceptance. Judge the judge. Doubt your doubts. And let what happens be uncontested by you. Your role is not to judge reality. You're not here to second-guess God. Receive. Accept. Allow. Surrender. Relinquish control. Climb into the passenger seat. Ride shotgun. And let God drive. Much of your psychological pain is most likely a result of resisting the way it is. Arguing with the flow of reality. If you were at a movie and suddenly the plot turned dark, would you storm to the box office and demand your money back? Of course not. you are here to enjoy the show.
I just love that example of Neil's wisdom. And if you want to get a copy of his book, just go to delightment.com and we'll share some more music a little bit later, but just thank you. Isn't that beautiful? Like we can choose what we want and we also have the opportunity to accept what is. And it's a beautiful example of that. Thank you, Clint.
Oh, so beautiful. And even a beautiful example of how the piece wasn't totally completed. And that's like our lives, you know, we're in motion and it's improvisation. I love that. Jana, I'm just curious, Jana joining from Georgia, who's helped out so much in so many ways. What's your feeling at the end of that clip? I was thinking of you during it.
I just love Gary's music. Just amazing.
Yeah. And the message about not returning our lives, but accepting our life as it is, saying yes and. Tell me any thoughts about that?
Yes. Just all of it. It's just wonderful.
Okay. Well, just for fun, this is like one of the best things about life and improv is now I'm just walking through this house now. And for the first time since we are going to be with Jana. Yay. So good.
I know I was worried about the echo, so that's why I didn't talk. Anyway, Gary, I loved your music. I love the message. It just really hits my heart. It's amazing. Can I tell him? I just got my pulse read by Clint.
Yeah.
It's like he can look into your soul. It's amazing. So thank you so much.
So Jana, she drove down from Georgia. I'm now in Sarasota, Florida, and we'll talk about that. I'll introduce you to some other people really quick. She thought it was 10 hours and it turned out to be 7 hours, which is awesome. But then after how many months we've known? Since May?
Yeah, no, it's been the end of March.
Since March, we've been communicating online, and for the first time we're meeting in person. And I don't know if any of you guys miss hugging people, but for all of you that miss hugging people, this is also for you too. Anyone who wanted to hug Jana, just for how much she's changed their lives, I'm hugging on behalf of everyone. So thank you, Jana, so much. So glad to finally meet you in person and feel the joy of that.
Oh, it's awesome. Thank you.
Okay, super. So you never know what happens in life. You never know who in this group, in this miracle group, this miracle experiment, you're gonna meet and will change your life. One of my friends put it this way. He said, do you even know what your next thought is gonna be? Anyway, anyone raise your hand if you know what your next thought is gonna be. No, we don't even know. He says, so if you're planning, you're only doing it based on what you've known in the past. But you don't know what conversation you're gonna have this afternoon or who you're gonna meet tonight that could totally change your perception of reality. And this miracle experiment game is one of those kind of things where you wanna actually lean into, like when you're a kid and you have that sense of curiosity and that sense of awe and that sense of anything is possible, because you're going to start to see and hear people that maybe have never even read the book yet. Maybe this is your first experience ever on the call. In fact, if this is your first time ever coming on one of these miracle experiment game calls, your first time ever on the call, just say, I'm here. And we're just going to love on you, you know. Deb, we love you that you're here. Leela, Lori, Noya, Elle, Doris. Oh man, so many people. This is your first time here and I'm so excited. Actually, I woke up this morning. First of all, happy Diwali to anyone who's celebrating Diwali. It's like in India, it's their version of Christmas in kind of a way where people give gifts. It's called the Festival of Lights, the victory of good over evil, and fireworks go off all the time. But I woke up this morning with that kind of anticipation, like it's Christmas morning, you know, and I'm just really curious what gifts are going to be, what gifts we're going to discover together. So speaking of gifts and speaking of powerful things, I want to actually, I don't know if now is a good time, Mandy, to introduce you. So I'm here right now in the home of Mandy. So a lot of you have seen the emails that we've sent out over the last period of time. Mandy, hello. Let's give her a round of applause here.
Hey! Hey, Mandy!
Yeah. speaking about you don't know what miracles are possible and you don't know what could happen and what meeting you're going to have happen. It was only how long ago that we first met?
3 weeks.
It was like 3 weeks ago. And in 3 weeks, I just want to acknowledge this powerful woman for the changes that she made. Some simple choices and then a lot of changes happen. And we won't go into those specific choices because they're based on the book and we'll talk about it in a little bit. But can you just give a snapshot of what life was like before? You know, the exhaustion or the struggle or different things and what it's like now.
Yeah, I think it was in December. I had some challenges and it kicked up some old stuff. So I was going through it, like full on through it. Hi, Sharon. That's one of my clients. Oh, and Jane is here too. Okay, sorry.
You got a lot of love, Mandy. Let's just love on Mandy for a second. Actually, you know, just 1 second. I'm going to put it on gallery view. Everyone, this is one tradition we have. You kind of clap your hands together like this. You rub it together like this. And then you send lots of love. So we're loving on Mandy. Yeah, we love you, Mandy. Okay, so she had some challenges happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made a big mistake in my company, and then I stuck my head in the sand. And when I did that, really kicked up some of my old coping mechanisms. So I was bulimic for 21 years, and that was coming back pretty raging too. And I also had massive life changes. So I was turning 40, my son graduated, moved out, I had asked for a divorce, like a whole lot of things. So
pain in your back,
yep.
your knees.
So while I was going through this, I was pretty desperate for some help, and I reached out for help and ended up finding the community where Clint existed and bumped into him. And then I really, when I met him and saw him, I started bawling for about 2 hours, 2 hours straight. I just knew there was something so real here. I don't know how to explain it. It just is, it's so real. It's so good. So I jumped right in, like dove right in. And for 10 years, I've been having some pretty severe back pain. Couldn't run anymore, had some knee pains, plus a lot of the emotional and the numbing and the compulsive habits and that kind of stuff were kicking back up. So started the journey, went through the things, and everything literally, like, it's so crazy. I dropped like 2 sizes. I had a pain-free day the other day, like fully pain-free in my entire body the other day.
First time in
10 years.
First time in 10 years.
And that was after like literally like tens of thousands of dollars with every chiropractic. I've tried everything and nothing worked. And then this, and it did. The emotional, the mental stuff, the emotional eating, calm down. It was really life-changing. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah. Let's give her a big round of applause. Yeah, Andy. Okay, where are you going? Where are you going? I love it. I love getting on my phone miracle stories, and sometimes she'll send me a picture of like wearing a dress she couldn't button the buttons of before, you know?
3 weeks before, I couldn't even button it up, and then it was like an inch too big for me.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
So we should put this disclaimer: is a side effect of following these ancient secrets, you may have to get a new wardrobe. Okay. So, and you may end up feeling very happy, is what Dr. Trump says is a side effect. So I just want to acknowledge that it's interesting because she not only followed the principles in this book, and we're actually going to focus on 3 specific secrets, but anyone that wants to go deeper, there's all kinds of things we'll create to support you. But 3 secrets that we'll share with you about how you can see such different changes in your life, but it affects you physically, mentally, and emotionally.
And spiritually.
And spiritually too. She talked about having a financial setback, making a decision in her business, and there's financial consequences that affected her emotionally. Has anyone on this call ever made a bad financial decision and it affected you emotionally? Okay, so I thank you for your honesty and authenticity. I've seen miracles happen on this call. I never promised any financial miracles, but sometimes people are sharing the coolest financial miracles. And even I don't know, are you right now on the call? I don't know if she's on the call. Annabelle, let's see. I think she's not on the call right now, but we have a writer speaker group that I share some things about how do you write and speak in a way that touches, moves, and inspires people's hearts according to the principle of Dr. Ram. She's on the call and she's talking about a miracle that happened when she was divorced. She's a single mother and had nothing left. In fact, even the car that was still belonged to her former husband, she felt like there was attachments to that toxic relationship. And so she just gave the car. She didn't even have a car, but she was in a state of abundance. And she was following these principles. So the first principle is what? Focus on what you want, not what you don't want. That's really tough. If the car is about to crash, you're looking at where it's going to crash. You know, it's tough to focus on the road or where you want it to go. So, but she did that. And there's two other principles we're going to talk about that help drop you in a space where it's like fertilizer for miracles, you know, and she did it. She did it. To her credit, she did it. And then all of a sudden she got a gift of a car. Someone gave her a car. Then she had a benefactor. She had a friend. She didn't even know this friend was wealthy that said, you know, I want to take care of you for as long as you need it. All your expenses are covered. So you just don't have to worry about it. And then the coolest thing is she didn't even have to accept that offer because she started generating income from unexpected sources to more than cover her needs. Now, again, I've never promised anyone that you have financial miracles. I didn't even know that this is an experiment, even for me, of what miracles are possible. And she's telling me, she told me on the call this week, she's like, what happened is I realized that our natural state is miracles and our natural state is abundance. And all I had to do was accept that my natural state was abundance. And then the atmosphere around me started to reflect that. Dr. Ram said it this way. He said, your outer world is a manifestation of your inner world. So why I feel like these three principles are so effective is because it helps change the frequency of your heart away from fear and more towards love. And in that state, it's inevitable that more miracles are going to happen. You know, my brother Gerald, he says, miracles are your natural state when you're aligned with truth. And I really think that I'm so excited to see what is possible in your life. So financial miracles, relationship miracles. She didn't talk about this, but Mandy says she, I don't know, maybe it's embarrassing to share, but
It's Mandy sharing.
Many of her clients are here for an event and it's so cool being with them. You know, like the vibration of her heart, it's attracting such beautiful people. She posted on Facebook the other day, her dream since she was young was to be associated with loving, fun people. I can't remember the exact words. Like this was your dream.
Yeah.
And she brought me to tears because she's like, it's happening. You know, my life is full of people that I love. So relationship miracles. And then this was fun. She said after her divorce, she got in another toxic relationship. I'm not going to say what nationality, but she always mentions it. Okay, I'll say. Okay, so she got another toxic relationship, but then now she's starting to date again and opening her heart to love again. You know, who's been through where you're in a heartache? You feel like you loved and then it was painful and you don't know if you ever want to love again. Anyone felt that way before? Like that emotional pain is more difficult than sometimes physical pain. And in that loneliness, you think maybe life will never be the same again. I just want to honor her. She is like looking good, feeling good, running again, saying, I like who I am. I feel good in my body and I deserve love and I am love. And she's attracting that, you know, so financial miracles, more abundance, relationship miracles, health miracles, first pain-free day in 10 years. That's amazing. And then also spiritually, you mentioned that, but I don't know what you're talking about. What can you share?
Because I don't really know how to put it into words. All I know is like I notice animals. I used to be afraid of animals and now I notice them. I notice nature more. I feel more connected. It feels just like a pulse is going out of me and I feel connected consistently and I never did before. There's a lot of work to feel connected before.
Wow, let's give her a big round of applause. That's so cool. So how do you feel more connected with yourself, with life, with all of nature? The second principle in this game, Aditi Devo Bhava, I'm going to talk about it in a little bit. It naturally will happen. It's just naturally going to happen for you. And it's so beautiful. I just want to acknowledge Mandy again, that not only it's changed her life, but even without you telling anyone anything, without preaching anything, without teaching anything, it's contagious. It's contagious healing. So now in the world where everyone's afraid of catching something when you go to the grocery store or the gym, they're going to have to be scared of you if they don't want to experience a lot of love, happiness, joy, and health. You know, and if they don't want to experience love, happiness, joy, and health, you'll just have to put a sign on you. Please don't get near me if you don't want to experience love, happiness, joy, and health. Because I am a miracle magnet and it's contagious, you know, so we'll create this t-shirt for everybody.
That is so good.
Yeah. contagious healing is a real thing. And in this miracle group, this family, you'll be a part of a small group experience. Every Sunday, we'll have a call like this, and we'll hear stories and we'll share stuff and you'll get support. But in a more intimate setting, the first call, the small group call, many people signed up for is today, right after this call. And so in that small group, you'll have a chance to really connect with people in a way, even on the phone, on the call with the mentors yesterday, Grant, he said what happened was people were sharing, and then all of a sudden one person shared in such an authentic, open-hearted way that then everyone started sharing really from their heart, things they don't even share with their family normally. And he said that even the people who shared before said, no, I want to share again. You know, they're like, I want to share again. And you'll notice that as you're in this healing space and in this experience of love, held by these master healers and held by these miracle mentors, stuff may come up. It may not always be roses, but that's when the second principle of this whole activity, this whole miracle experiment game comes into play. And that is called Aditi Devo Bhava. And I'm going to share that in a little bit. Coming back to contagious healing, Mandy was actually publishing on Facebook every day of her journey about what's happening, whether it was fun or not, you know, happy or not. And actually, can I have you come over for a little bit? Okay. I just met today one of the most amazing people, and I just want to acknowledge her, Mandy's daughter, Bailey.
Hi.
Yeah. Okay, so just for 1 second, Bailey, I want you to experience this. Everyone put your hands together like this, clap them together, and we're going to give Bailey a lot of love. We love you, Bailey. Yeah. Is it okay, Bailey, if I share something you shared with me?
Of course.
Yeah, so Bailey is a perfect example of someone who is in a 10-year-old body, but with an ancient soul. You know, she's so wise and so articulate, and also is carrying the burden of the world on her shoulders, you know, being really difficult and hard on herself sometimes because it's just the way we are sometimes. So I wanted Bailey to be here because sometimes as you're going through this journey in this healing space, some stuff may come up that doesn't feel so good. Now, if you're with Bailey and she doesn't feel good about herself, would you say, yeah, Bailey, you're probably right. You know, you're not doing everything you need to do. And, you know, like we wouldn't do that. You would love on her. And so I want you to see yourself, that child inside of you. And the Aditi Devo Bhava is recognizing that whoever comes into your life, whether it's a person that comes back into your life, or a new person that comes into your life, or an animal. Mandy was talking about animals. Or an emotion comes into your life that maybe doesn't feel so good. You say, Aditi Devo Bhava. It means treat the unexpected guest as if God himself or herself has come to visit you. I feel so honored to take Bailey's pulse, and I am excited about what she has to do in the future. Do you have any wisdom you want to share with us right now? What's one thing that you think that everyone should know that would make their life better?
Always have courage in yourself.
Always have courage in yourself. Let's give a big round of applause for that. Good. And I want to acknowledge the courage you have to be here now. And as we're talking about some things that maybe aren't very comfortable, to have the courage to allow them to come up and to love yourself anyway. And so, Bailey, I love you. I'm so glad to know you. And I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad Mandy gave me the gift of meeting you.
Me too.
Yeah. Beautiful. So now contagious healing is that it not only affects Mandy. Have you noticed any changes in your mom over the last month? What changes have you noticed in her?
She lost weight. She's feeling a lot more confident in herself. She is a lot happier. She's not very cranky anymore. Not that it's a bad thing, just she's been a lot happier. She's taking a lot better care of herself. She's feeling so much more confident in herself. She's just changed so much.
So what if your child, your 10-year-old daughter saw that in you? You know, how much would it change her whole life without you even saying anything or teaching anything? You know, so thank you so much, Bailey. Thank you, Mandy. All right, let's give them another big round of applause. Yeah. And as a side benefit of when you hear these miracles happen, you want to taste it, you know, you want to experience it. And so in this room right now are some amazing women, many of whom I just took the pulse of this morning in a pulse consultation. I was so inspired by them. and their journey. So I want everyone just to give a big round of applause for all the people that are here. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I just want one person, Jacqueline, come on over here real quick. Jacqueline is on day 21 of something that's a certain challenge that we do that's not, this is the Miracle Experiment game, but there's something called a Hmong Detox Challenge that we can talk to you about. She's on day 21, but as a result of Mandy stepping into this new possibility, then Jacqueline has had a total change in her life. And just, can you talk about in like 1 minute what it was like before versus now?
Before, I was healing from a very serious health crisis. I'll say it was cancer, and I was extremely fatigued. Every joint hurt like it was going to shatter with any kind of pressure. GI issue, GI tract issues, just you name it. It was really tough to it felt like I was walking through thick gel all day long. So, foggy, everything was effort. It took effort to move. It took effort, to wake up in the morning. And I woke up and I would sleep 7 hours, 8 hours, and I was still exhausted. It was like the plug, someone just took a plug and just ripped it out of the wall. And I just literally, my eyes would close. I'd be with my kids and my eyes would just drop. So it was, but you still push through, you still you just try and do life, right? But it was tough. It was very tough. And I tried to, I've been on about a 7-year holistic journey. I'm not on any medications. It just felt like everything took really long, which I know it does, but it takes like 3 months you try, 6 months you try, and then you tweak it and try again. Well, this came about. And like Mandy said, like, when you know it's something, it's something special. Like I knew in my body, like, okay, like this was going to be something. And so I didn't really have hesitation to dive in. What I didn't expect is how powerfully and how quickly I felt changes. Like literally by day 3, by day 5, I could tell you, by day 3, I could tell an energy shift, like, oh, I'm not feeling tired. By day 5, I remember I was sitting on the couch with my kids when usually I'm like ready to like, mommy has to lay down. Like I'm so tired. And I felt crisp. I felt so clear. I felt so just awake and aware. Like someone just took that gel or that veil and lifted it up. And I was like, oh my gosh, like it was a moment I won't forget because it was so just like powerful. And that was day 5, you know what I mean? And I thought, okay, this is a fluky thing, or, like it's going to go away. But, it's day 20, or actually checked to day 22 today. With all the medications and stuff that I was on, I was never able to lose weight. I actually was more weight than I was when I gave birth to my children. So it just wouldn't drop. But I've lost 18 pounds in 21 days.
Yeah, let's get around.
So, and it's interesting because when you feel better, then you make better choices to support yourself. Like you have the energy to do it, you have the clarity to do it. And for me, that's been the gift. Like the weight was just like, I wasn't even focused on that, to be honest. It was just, I wanted to feel good. And I have no joint pain. I was playing tennis with my kids and I was like, oh my gosh, my ankles don't hurt, my knees don't hurt. Like, let's do it again. So we were playing like every night, we were going out and playing tennis. But I wouldn't have had the energy to do that before. So you know what I mean? It puts you in a state of just like, when you feel good, you make good choices. And when you feel good, you support yourself. And when you feel good, like Lil Bailey said, you have the courage to do the things that support you. And it comes from a place of feeling aligned instead of like, I have to, like you want to. So it's just this awesome excitement and love and just like, oh, I feel like a sonic boom of love that I just want to shoot out to everybody. Like, it just feels good. It feels good to feel good.
Let's give her a big round of applause. Yes. Oh, thank you, Jacqueline. And I just want to acknowledge, when you make a single choice, it can change everything. And contagious healing is that it may not only change your life, but the people that you love. So already imagine your kids.
Yes.
And
well, yes. I'm sorry, but they even expressed like, oh my gosh, like you're awake, Mom. And we can do stuff, Mom. Yeah.
Not only more energy, but even what if you give the gift to your family of being less of a jerk? For Christmas. Yeah. My gift for you is I'm going to be less irritated and upset, and I have more energy just to love on. What a gift. Yeah. So yeah. So I just want to give one more big round of applause for Jacqueline. So cool. And also Tammy. Tammy, she is so cool. She didn't even know she was going to be here until days ago. And then she flew from Boston,
Yes.
yeah, to here to Florida just to be here. She's been reading the book and she
I
wants,
finished the book on the flight.
oh, she finished on
Yeah.
the flight. Awesome. Yeah, she grew up with, I just love this story because she grew up with Mandy as a kid and she hasn't seen her for how many years?
Since 8th grade.
Since
So like
8th
5 years.
grade. Yeah. Yes, only 5-6 years back. But she hasn't seen her since 8th grade. And as Mandy started going on this journey of healing, like talk about contagious healing, you never know whose life you're going to impact. But Tammy saw the book, she started reading and she's like, man, I want to have more of that experience. And so when Mandy was holding this live event and this Pulse consultations today, Tammy says, okay, I get out of work at what time?
1:30 on Saturday.
1:30 on Saturday.
And I go back to work on Tuesday.
And she goes back to work on Tuesday. So she says, I'm just going to work out the flight so I can just be there and give that gift to myself. And it was such an honor. Let's give her a big round of applause. Yeah.
Hey, Clint.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but it has been a major job trying to get my mother and she can't get through. So I'm using her on my cell phone and she's here. And so when you're ready, no matter what I did, I couldn't get her to figure out how to get on. I
don't hear anything.
So
I just want to say, speaking of contagious healing, oftentimes it's those you love the most, your mother, and I'll talk about my mom in a little bit, but Gary's mom, her message and her presence is so beautiful. I just wanted her to be here with us. So Pearl, are you there? Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you all right. I wish I had heard you 50 years ago. The biggest collection of medicine you ever saw. Now I have changed. I want to say to everybody, don't listen to all the doctors. That's the last person you have to listen to because they're selling medicine. All right, now what do you want, Clint?
Well, I'm going to say, listen to your doctors. Legally, that's a very good thing for me to say. So, and at the same time,
no, mom, just let Clint guide you, okay? Here we go.
And I want to say, listen to her heart. Pearl is someone who listens to her heart. Even when she tried to call me, she got the wrong number and talked to Thomas, a 21-year-old guy from Brooklyn who was depressed.
What do you want from me? I'm an old lady, but I'm going to open up a medicine stand in front of my house this week.
Oh, Mom, stop. Let me just let Clint guide. He'll ask you a question.
Shut up, Gary.
Pearl, what's been your experience as you've been reading the book?
Oh, I've enjoyed it. It was an awakening for me. But I have so many people waiting to read it after me. These are all old people, and they never heard of these things, so they all want to borrow the book or find out where they can get it.
Well, I'll take care of that, Mom. Don't worry about it.
Pearl, what wisdom? We have so many people, hundreds of people and thousands of people will eventually listen to this exact recording from all over the world.
Hello, everybody.
What wisdom would you share from your heart to their heart that would make their lives better?
Well, you mean for reading the book?
Either reading the book or just your life as well.
I have spent I had 4 children, and I spent my time in doctors' offices because I believed everything they told me. And I even had a colonoscopy, and they cut the colon by mistake.
Mom, tell them about how moved you were, what you said yesterday about.
Yeah, I was very moved. I think that my son has got a heart just like Clint's. And I'm so enthralled with reading that book because it's a whole new adventure for me, who's been brought up with doctors and medicine. And I really want to know more. I want to know more. So come back, Clint. Back to my wonderful open arms.
Well, Pearl, I love you and I'm with you. I'm so grateful that you took time to be on this call with us. I know everyone's muted.
I just wanted to tell 500 people what a stupid woman I was all my life. If they had a cut on their finger, I ran to the specialist. I turned over a new leaf, and I hope they get to read your book. It's heartwarming.
Yeah, and everybody, I just want to say, when my mom started reading, she called me at 10 o'clock at night. She normally doesn't, it's not up after 8 o'clock. And she said,
you and Chris on the same page.
yeah, she was very moved by how much love was in the book and how Clint and I were so similar. Only I was using music and Clint was using his book as a way to spread love. So I just was touched by that. Go ahead, Mom.
And I want to say one more thing. I put my arms around every black man that walks in the street to tell him life is going to get better. And I want to put love back in the world because that stupid Donald Trump.
No, don't, Mom, don't go there. No, Mom.
So much hate in
Mom,
California.
Mom, stop. Don't, no, let's not get political. All right, so listen.
That's political. Okay. I have nothing to say.
Listen, I love you, Mom, and I think that everybody appreciates. My mom's has a heart of gold, and she's the most amazing woman. And she has a book at Amazon called The Jewish Mother's Guide to Professional Worry, Pearl Malkin.
Right.
I'll send you a link. But anyway, say goodbye, Mom. Your final words.
My final words is God bless you. Just love everybody with your heart. Be kind and be loving. That's what I believe in. And that's why God has let me live to be 97. I don't really want to be here, but he's making me stay. So good luck to you.
Thanks, Mom. All right, I'm going to take you off now. Thank you. Bye.
Say one word to Clint. Clint, come home.
You mean your home?
Come to my home.
Thank you. Thank you, Pearl, so much for
He
sharing.
made a big hole in my arm. And I used to run to the doctor and have stitches, but I'm not doing that.
All right.
So Clint, come home and fix my arm.
Mommy has 50,000 homes because everybody wants him to visit them. Okay, I love you. But take care, you guys.
You too. Love you, Clint.
Love you, Pearl. So sweet. That was just this week. Just this week, she sent this voice message and talked to Gary. And I just want to say that, you know, if she's 96 and can have that kind of desire to learn more, then all of us can want to learn more. Let's see, Mike, can you unpin the video? Oh, there you go. Super. So if she's 96 and can learn, then all of us can learn. And also we can experience contagious healing for people older than us, younger than us, all different span. So now I saw a message from Felicia and from Sam saying, in addition to the stories, you want to know practically what to do, some instruction. So I'm going to go into that instruction a little bit now. And then I'm actually going to invite Giovanni also to share if Giovanni is still on the call. So what are the three principles that we're going to focus on for this miracle experiment game? Dr. Ram says the very first thing you want to do is discover what you want. Now, it could be also you just discover what you want for today, but you want to focus more on what you want than what you don't want. And it's amazing that this lineage of healers understood that this is one of the most powerful principles of healing, that aligning your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual self with what you want invites different miracles of healing to happen in your life. So that's the number one principle. And there's a way to do it that on your first calls we'll describe. But basically in the morning you wake up and you think, what do I want? And you write it down in the form of a gratitude statement as if it's already happened. So for instance, if I wake up this morning, it's like, you know, actually I want to feel more love today. So then I write it like, I'm so grateful that I'm experiencing more love in my life right now. And you write it in the form of a gratitude statement and you visualize it as if it's already happened. That's step number one. The second principle of this game is called the Diti Devo Bhava. Now, I'm going to set the context of this in that I didn't really even though it's in the book, even though I saw Dr. Ram doing it all the time, I didn't really understand how powerful it was until February when Dr. Ram actually left the body. And when Dr. Ram left the body, I was so shocked. And I remember I went to the prayer service and I thought, actually, it was February 19th and I got a phone call saying that you need to get back to Mumbai quick. I was in Delhi for a convention or a conference. I went back immediately and Dr. Ram had left the body. And by the time I got there, instead of driving home, I drove straight to the place where they're burning the bodies. And he had just arrived on whatever they were carrying him on, and the family was there. And just hugging all these people that I knew and loved through Dr. Ram. And I saw how much he loved them and I loved them through his eyes. And all of us were in a state of shock, you know, like, how did this happen? You know, and as I was standing over his body, as it was burning, I just felt like looking through my eyes, I don't know that I've ever felt more lost or more alone in my life. You know, for 10 years traveling with this master healer, someone who could solve every problem, it seemed like whatever came, he said, whatever is your challenge, obstacle, or heartache has within it the seeds of equal or greater benefit. And then he was gone, you know, and I didn't realize how much of a space inside of me was going to feel like where do I go now? When I have a question, where do I go? When he would make us laugh while healing us, where do I go when I feel even upset or angry or irritated, when I'm hard on myself? And and so then it went quickly. His prayer service came and I had the opportunity to speak at it. And even speaking at it, I was really hard on myself, feeling like I could have done better or captured more the honor of what it was like to be with him. And that night I was so depressed and it just hit me like a wave of depression. It felt so dark and I couldn't sleep. And so at 4 a.m., 4:30, I just wasn't sleeping. Finally at about 5 a.m., 5:30, I just got up and I was like, I got to move my body because I'm feeling like so dark and so depressed and so alone. I was walking through the streets of Mumbai and all of a sudden I felt like someone was following me. And I looked around, I couldn't see anyone there. So I keep walking and then someone feels like someone's following me. I look down and there's this dog. I'm like, why is this dog following me? And I was still upset. I was not in a mood to connect with anyone and not even a dog, So I just kept walking, but this dog followed me for 15, 20 minutes, half hour, for 1 hour. He followed me wherever I went, And as he was following me, I was remembering Dr. Ram taught me a secret, a principle that I just thought was kind of cute, but it was so powerful. It's a principle called Aditi Devo Bhava. You treat the unexpected guest as if God himself or herself has come to visit you. Anytime any dog would show up, any street dog, any homeless person, anyone that needed help in any way, he treated them as if God himself or herself was arriving. So always in the car, we had food for dogs. Always we had food for if someone came to the window, they're hungry. Dr. Ram didn't get angry very often, but I remember one time we didn't, and he got upset. He said, this is not acceptable, So I was remembering that, and I'm looking at this dog and thinking I should feed him. So I try and give him some food, and he doesn't want to eat it, but he's still following me everywhere. And as he's following me, my sadness and the depression just kind of melted away into this state of awe. And I'm feeling like the wonder and the magic of what is happening here. I can't help but remember all these moments with Dr. Naram where he taught me certain things that I didn't understand in the moment, but that were the secrets through which how he was living his life with so much energy, so much joy, and things that look like miracles happening all the time, but based on a science. The principle Aditi Devo Bhava is so powerful. This dog, I brought him to where Dr. Naram lived, where Krishna, his son, lives now, and his wife Smita. And I said, do you have any dog food? And he just started eating the dog food. And then with Krishna, who also, you can imagine losing your father, and losing your best friend and your teacher, all at once. And so he was also struggling, but as this miracle dog showed up, I just started saying, you know what I remember? And we started remembering these magic moments. And all of a sudden, our brains popped into the space of awe, this miracle mindset that then all of a sudden we started to see things we didn't even see in the moment. And that night I brought this dog to my apartment because he would follow me everywhere. I didn't know what to do. But then there's a street dog, and what do? You let him in your home? I don't know. I tried to put a blanket outside the door and shut the door, but he would bark. And then my neighbors were all around. It's an apartment thing. So I'm like, I can't have him barking. So then I'm like, okay, Aditi Devo Bhava, treat this unexpected guest as if God himself has come. I'm like, I probably wouldn't make God sleep outside the door on a blanket. I was like, okay, so what if I'm really living this principle? What would I do? So very nervously, I invited this dog into my apartment and I let him sleep in the house, but he wouldn't sleep anywhere in any other room unless he was right next to my bed and my hand was on his head, And then over a period of the next months, COVID came and we had lockdown. And for 6, 7, 8 months, my best friend and my companion was this dog. And Mike, if you can bring up his picture, I named him Miracle Milo. Actually, Jack Canfield, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, was in India when Dr. Ram passed away. There he is, Milo. It's just like this miracle dog showed up and just loved me in a way that I probably couldn't have accepted from any human even, And so it helped me every day as I'd walk Milo. I'd remember things Dr. Ram taught. And he was a miracle not only for me. The next day I was going to the clinic and I got an Uber. I'm like, what's he gonna do? He hops in the Uber on my lap. The driver is looking. I'm like, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'll pay you extra or whatever, you know. He sat on my lap for 45 minutes to the clinic, hopped right out, went to the room where Dr. Ram would see patients, in front of the desk, looked at the picture, and then just sat down right on the floor. You know, the staff members came in and were just in tears. And like day after day, this miracle dog taught me so many things about life and about love and helped me remember these ancient secrets. So over this next 30-day period, one of the principles you'll follow is Aditi Devo Bhava. You'll go out of your way to feed specifically dogs, cows, and crows. And there's a reason for that, but I'm not going to explain it right now. But also you'll pay attention to any unexpected guest, including if it's a feeling, a person, or anything that comes into your life. You'll say, okay, what if life is happening for me and not to me? What if this is God himself or herself showing up? Then what is the gift of this? And you'll do this for 30 days. The third principle is gratitude. At the end of every day in your journal, you'll actually write down 3 principles, 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things you're grateful for, at least. And then I want it so every day you're posting in the Facebook group. So there's 2 steps. One step is follow the 3 principles, these ancient secrets. The second step is every day in the Facebook group, you'll want to post something that represents to you love or gratitude or is a miracle you had. So maybe you take a picture of your child sleeping, you know, or of birds, or of the dog that you fed, or the homeless person you put a blanket on. Whatever it is that represents to you love or gratitude or miracles, you'll just post about it and we'll have this opportunity to share. Mike or John, can you put in the chat the link to the group? And I can also do it if we need to, but the link to the Facebook group that everyone could join, and we'll email this to you as well. So as a part of this miracle experiment game, really step 1 is following the 3 principles. Step 2 is just posting every day, like acknowledging what it is. You know, the very first quote of this book is, I didn't come to teach you, I came to love you, and love will teach you. And I really believe that whatever it is you need in your life is already within you. You know, all the wisdom you need is within you now. All the health, all the strength, all the healing, all the abundance is within you now. By playing this game, this miracle experiment game, you'll align yourself with that truth in a way that your outer world will be a manifestation of your inner world. As your inner world changes, you'll start to see things that look like miracles happening around you. And I'm so honored and grateful to be with you on this journey. You know, on this call, talking about contagious healing, are many people that have changed my life. Luisa from Brazil followed this game. She actually also found a home remedy in the book for knee pain. And as a result of doing the home remedy in the book, following the principles, focusing on what she wants, before she had stage 4 knee pain. She's only in her like 20s, maybe 30s. She's very young, but stage 4 cartilage damage. In only a few weeks, she started to notice the pain was less when she went back. Actually, Luisa, can you unmute yourself and just say hi if you're here on the call?
Hey, hello everyone.
Luisa, yeah. So she just followed the principles and did it. And then what did your doctor say when you went back?
Well, he was looking my MRI and he said like, well, it's so much better now. What have you been doing? Because I can see more lubrication and sort of like a healing tissue being formed underneath my kneecap. So it's super desirable, but not really common to happen when you have chondromalacia. That's my knee condition. And well, now I'm feeling so much better. I even started running again, just a little, but I even started running again. So it's super good. I'm feeling healthier. And just by using the home remedy, pressing the Marma point, and some dietary changes as well. So yeah.
And then contagious healing. My own mom was listening to her share her story, and she's like, I have knee pain. When I go to the neighbor's house, it hurts. I want to drive from here to the neighbor's house. Mom, are you on the call? Can you unmute yourself? I don't know if you're on the call or not. She's in Connecticut with some family right now. I love that my mom is on these calls. It makes me so happy. I don't know if you can unmute yourself or not, Mom, but I love you and I'm so grateful for you and all that you've given me. Listening to Luisa, she's like, why don't I do it? She actually had already read the book. She's known me for the whole journey, but listening to Luisa and listening to also Stephen Wechsler talk about Hmong, she started doing it. 3 days later, her pain was gone in one knee. And in a short period of time, the pain was gone in the other knee. Now she's convinced over 20, 30 people to follow these recommendations because why not? What kind of contagious healing can happen in your life when you just start somewhere? And the starting point is so easy, just these 3 ancient secret principles. Giovanni, can you unmute yourself for a moment? I don't know if you're still on the call, Giovanni. I'm not sure if you're still on the call, but Giovanni is...
I am on the call, and yeah, can you hear?
Yeah, super. You know, we have just a few minutes left, but I just want any kind of wisdom or love that you want to share with everyone who's participating in this experiment, applying these ancient principles. Anything from your heart you want to share with them?
Oh, this is wonderful, and also in my being here, so that I want to go also deeper in this principle. So I want to go in a more systematic way, and also what improvement they have. Luisa is just impressed, because this problem, the chondromalacia means is a degeneration of the cartilage. So means the body is aging and she's young. So because of the big imbalance in one of the vata energy. So we have 3 main energy in our body, and vata that is making the cartilage dry. So she has reversed that condition. So this is very powerful. I'm very happy. Yes.
So powerful. Luisa, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Giovanni. Dr. Giovanni is someone who when I was first coming into this as a skeptic, meeting Dr. Naram, and then I met this Italian doctor by the name of Dr. Giovanni, who's a medical doctor. He graduated from one of the top universities in Europe. You know, in fact, I write about him in the first chapter of this book. And, you know, the oldest running medical university on the planet, why would someone from such a well-respected medical background be with Dr. Naram? And at the end of long clinic nights, the first thing he got out of the car and what he did was, I always saw him feeding dogs. He would always be feeding the dogs. And I was like, why is he doing this thing? Giovanni, what inspired you to be taking care of dogs like this, street dogs?
So we have, how you say, I just feel I love animals. Yeah, we have a wonderful story, wonderful experience also. Wonderful experience how we can use this principle helping our brother animals. So yeah, we have helped real eagles, we have helped pythons, we have helped, and bees. I have a very interesting story with the bees. So one time, I am one in the world that have used also this principle, helping the bees. So I don't know if it's a proper time to tell the story another time.
That story is captured in the book, and we'll share it on another call. I just wanted to say that some things that you may not think are related or connected, like how can feeding cows, you know, impact your life and be a magnet for miracles? How can that happen? I just want you to suspend needing to know for a moment for this 30 days. You don't, Dr. Ram, when I'd say, but why? You know, I'm a university researcher. I want to know the reasons. He would hit me on the head. He said, just get it, you know? I'd say, no, but I want to get it, you know? So I just wanted you to suspend needing to know why these principles work and just allow yourself to play a game, do this experiment, to love yourself in such a way that you follow these 3 principles. If you don't have dogs or cows or crows near you, we're going to give you a link where you can donate and someone will feed them on your behalf in a place where they're taking care of them. So in an email, we'll send you the instructions. We'll walk you through the process of how to discover what you want. We'll share with you about Aditi Devo Bhava and a link where you can donate if you're not, and you get benefits from that. Blessings come unexpectedly, you know, and so many other miracles will happen. And then as you infuse your life with more gratitude, there's a quote I saw on Facebook the other day, a grateful heart is a magnet for miracles. As you infuse your life with more gratitude, at the very last chapter of this book, Dr. Ram said, one of the greatest secrets of healing is to have a grateful heart. And he says, I want to always give great gratitude to my master. Can we just cue this up? The picture of Dr. Ram's master.
I've got a music track for 3 minutes if you want to spotlight. Just want you to know.
We're definitely going to do that, Gare. So I just want to acknowledge and give gratitude again to Dr. Naram and his master, Baba Ram Das, who had a master who had a master who had a master. And Mike, if you can put those up. Oh yeah, super. So this is Dr. Ram with his master, Baba Ram Das, who lived to be 124 years young, he said. People would ask him, how old are you? He's like, no, I'm 115 years young and many years to go. Dr. Ram had 10 years of training with him before Baba Ram Das says, now it's time for me to leave my body. He had a master, had a master, had a master. The ultimate master was Jivaka. Can you just show that picture? This is Master Jivaka. He was the physician for Buddha. So you can imagine how enlightened someone would have to be. And this unbroken lineage captured these secrets. Go to the next picture if you can. In these manuscripts, these ancient manuscripts for thousands of years. And this is the very first time lots of these secrets are being released into the world through this book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer. And you are some of the first people on the planet to apply them in this kind of a community, on this kind of a global scale. So I'm just excited to be with you in this time. I'm excited for you also to meet your mentors. So you, as a part of registering, you signed up for a small group time. One of them is starting soon, so we're going to get off this call soon and you'll just come back in the same link. But whatever time it is, I just want you to trust that you're in that group with those mentors for a reason. Whoever's in your group, even if maybe someone triggers you a certain way or a different way, just trust that you're in the exact right group for the right reason. And don't miss those group experiences because it's really beneficial. So this week, your mentors will go through the instructions one more time, but I would start today with following these 3 principles and even join the Facebook group and post that experience. In tradition, we want to end all together. So we have a music piece, and in honoring the love that's in you that will teach you, the wisdom that's in you, the healing that's in you, the abundance that's in you, we're going to play this track. And I encourage you to turn on your video if it's not on right now. And we'll spotlight certain videos. I just want you to love on the person that's there. And if you see yourself, I want you to love on yourself, you know? So Gary, take it over. And Mike, if you can help out with this too.
So music is the universal language of humanity. And in the spirit of that, there's nothing more eloquent than allowing ourselves to be together in the space of music as we appreciate the beauty that we all are. So allow yourself to be seen. And if you don't want to be seen, turn your video off. But you know, this random spotlighting will allow us to enjoy the treasure chest of jewels that is on this call. And here it is. It's a piece of music from Graceful Music from Graceful Passages. And it was inspired by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's work. And here, this is purely music to allow ourselves to drop into the beauty of being together. Sorry,
Gary, we're
sorry,
not hearing your computer.
I didn't.
Right.
I'm working on it. Sorry, pardon me. Here we go.
While he's fixing that, I just want to say a lot of people are asking, what are the first and second principles and how do I connect with my group? You'll get an email this week from your mentors, and also we'll give an email explaining everything. So look in your email and that will explain how to join the Facebook group and all those questions. For now, I encourage you just to pause for a moment and really listen, really look in the screen. We'll just do a short chat pause. So not put anything in the chat and focus on the face and the image and what's in your heart, and just love this person as much as possible.
you and I'm with you, everyone.
Aloha.
Up to everybody.
I just want to. Oh, hold on. Sorry. All right. I just want to say I am so moved to tears to have my music support the jewels of all of you. Clint, what an experience to see the love that's growing in this space. And thank you for allowing music to consecrate and connect and commune together in the beauty of love together. Thank you so much. What an honor.
Yeah, beautiful. So if you have the small group that's on Sundays that's starting in 2 minutes, you can actually, we're going to end the call and we'll start that one. But in tradition, you know, when Dr. Ram passed away, I was going to the orphan home. And the orphan home, before I went Krishna, Dr. Ram's son and I did a video, and we just invited people from around the world to put on their video a selfie that says, "I love you and I'm with you." And it caught on like fire. By the time I got to the orphan home, there was 100 videos from people all over the world saying, "I love you and I'm with you." So in tradition of that, at the end of these calls, you can unmute yourself and we just say, "I love you and I'm with you."
I love you.
I love you and I'm
Love
with
you and I'm with you.
Love you.
Yeah.
Love you and I'm with you.
I'm with you.
And I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you. Love you and I'm with you. With you.
Love you and I'm with you.
To everyone.
I'm with you.
I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm
Love you and I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
And I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
So beautiful. I love you and I'm with you. Looking forward to this 30-day miracle experiment game. Namaste.